It's good to have you back again. Hope you're all enjoying your holiday. Please, I urge you all to take your studies seriously. Alright, today we're looking at something very interesting. Although this is what we've been doing since last week, and we are going to do more. But today is taking a different dimension. That's because of what we have more exercises to do on this. Today we are going to be focusing on just past perfect tenses. We are going to be focusing on just past perfect tenses. Remember I told you what past perfect tenses are. I said that they are actions that happened following another action that also took place at the past. Now, we have an exercise on the board. Make the positive or negative past perfect simple. What does this instruction mean? All these sentences written on the board are all positive. Why did I say positive? There is no introduction of the word not. Not expresses a sentence in the negative manner. But what we are focusing on for this session is without not. So that's why these sentences on the board are positive sentences. So we are going to be filling in all the blanks with the correct past perfect tense form. And I told us last week that whenever we are constructing a sentence in the past perfect manner, we are going to be making use of the word had. Had is the past tense of the word have or has. So we are going to be making use of this word had. This shows that a sentence is written in the past perfect tense form. Let's take number one for example. Make the positive or negative past perfect simple. Number one, when I arrived at the cinema, the film dash then starts in parentheses. Now we are going to change the word in parentheses to the past form. So the past tense for start is started. So now for us to get the past perfect of this number one sentence, when I arrived at the cinema, the film had started. Can you see what I just did? When I arrived at the cinema, the film had started. Your start would take the past form, started. Number two, she dashed leave is in parentheses. She dashed leave in China before she went to Thailand. She dashed leave in parentheses in China before she went to Thailand. So what we'll have here, remember the past form of have. She had leaved. This leave would change the past tense, and the past tense for leave is leaved. She had lived in China before she went to Thailand. She had lived in China before she went to Thailand. Number 3, after they dash eat the shellfish, they began to feel sick. After they dash eat the shellfish, they began to feel sick. So how am I going to change this to the past perfect simple? After they had eaten, after they had eaten the shellfish, they began to feel sick. I hope you're following. Had eaten. After they had eaten the shellfish, they began to feel sick. Number 4, if you dash listen to me, you will have got the job. If you dash listen to me, you would have got the job. So this will change to if you had listened, past tense for listen, listened. If you had listened to me, you would have got the job. If you had listened to me, you would have got the job. Number 5, Julie didn't arrive until after I dash leave, in parentheses. Julie didn't arrive until after I dash leave. So this becomes Julie didn't arrive until after I had, what are the past tense for leave? Sorry, what are the past tense for leave? What are the past tense for leave? This left. So we have Julie didn't arrive until after I had left. So this is the past tense for this. Leave, left. Leave, left. Number 6. When we finished dinner, we went out. When we finished dinner, we went out. Becomes when we had finished, oh, it's already waiting for us. When we had finished dinner, we went out. So this is correct. Had finished dinner, we went out. For number 7, the garden was dead because it dash be dry all summer. So this becomes the garden was dead because it had been dry all summer. It has been dry all summer. The garden was dirt because it had been dry all summer. He dashed meet her somewhere before. He dashed meet her somewhere before. He had, the past tense for meet, met. Hope you know this. Good. He had met her somewhere before. The past tense for meet is met. He had met her somewhere before. Number 9. We were late for the plane because we dashed forget our passports. We were late for the plane because we dashed forget our passports. We were late for the plane because we had forgotten our passports. We were late for the plane because we had forgotten our passports. Number 10. She told me she dashed study a lot before the exam. She told me the past tense had past tense of study, studied. She told me she had studied a lot before the exam. So this is how you tell your past perfect in the positive manner. This is how you tell the past perfect in the positive manner. Here it is so because we never introduced here the use of not. So that is why it's simple, and that's why it's positive, sorry. That is why it's positive. There is no not in the sentence. So the next section we're going to be dealing with, we are going to be looking at the negative past perfect. So these are just the positive past perfect. The negative past perfect, we have to introduce the word not. We have to introduce the word not. Written on the board now, we're going to be looking at the negative past perfect. The first one we did was positive, right? But now we are going to be dealing with the negative past perfect. I told us that while we talk about the negative, we have to introduce the word not. If you look at the words in parentheses, you will see not in everything. This is because we want to change them to the negative past perfect. Now the word after your stroke must be written in the past tense form. What we have here are just present, simple present tenses. So we're going to change those words. We change those verbs to past tense form. Now we're going to add a not to a had. We are going to add had plus not. Had plus not. When we add had plus not, it gives us hadn't. So what we're looking at in this sentence is we're going to be writing this word hadn't and the past tense of the verb. The past tense of the verbs. Now, number 1, the grass was yellow because it dash not rain or summer. Had plus not gives us hadn't. So this becomes, in the negative form, the grass was yellow because it hadn't. What are the patterns for rain? Rained. So you strike this. The grass was yellow because it hadn't rained all summer. The grass was yellow because it hadn't rained all summer. Number 2, the lights went off. The lights went off because we had plus not hadn't. because we hadn't. What the past tense for pay? Okay. Paid. Paid. The lights went off because we hadn't paid the electricity bill. The lights went off because we hadn't paid the electricity bill. Number 3. The children dash not do their homework, so they were in trouble. The children dash not do their homework, so they were in trouble. One will strike out and not. Adding to the had gives you hadn't. The children hadn't. The past for do now we have here done. The children hadn't done their homework. The children hadn't done their homework, so they were in trouble. 4. They dash not eat, so we went to a restaurant. They dash not eat, so we went to a restaurant. They hadn't eaten. They hadn't eaten, so we went to a restaurant. They hadn't eaten, so we went to a restaurant. Number 5 here. We couldn't go into the concert because we dash not buy our tickets. We couldn't go into the concert because we dash not buy our tickets. Cancel your not. Add it to your had gives you hadn't. What the past tense for buy? Good. But. We couldn't go into the concert because we hadn't bought our tickets. Because we hadn't bought our tickets. Because we hadn't bought our tickets. Number 6. She said that she dashed not visit the UK before. You do it with your not. Add it to your had. Hadn't. She said that she hadn't. Visit, past tense for visit. Visited. She said that she hadn't visited the UK before. She said that she hadn't visited the UK before. Number 7. Julie and Anne dash not meet before the party. Julie and Anne, what happens here? Strike this out. Hadn't. What the past tense for meet? Met. Julie and Anne hadn't met before the party. Julie and Anne hadn't met before the party. Now, let's look at number 8. He dash not use email before. He dash not use email before, so I showed him how to use it. what happens here? What do we have here? Hadn't. He hadn't. The past tense for use. Good. Used. He hadn't used email before, so I showed him how to use it. So it's very simple. When it comes to negative expression, you have to introduce not. Not. And when you add the not to your had in a contraction form, it gives you hadn't. Hadn't. So these sentences have shown that they are in the negative past perfect form. Negative past perfect form. If it's positive, like the first one we did, don't introduce not. When it's negative, you introduce your not. I'll be giving us lots of exercises on this. Even in our next class, I have loads of exercises. When I say loads of exercises on these past perfect tenses. Thank you.